Pursuant Chapter 551, Title 5 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Open Meeting Acts, notice is hereby given that the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, in accordance with Article 5, Section 12 of the Charter of said city, will reconvene a regular meeting on Tuesday, May 19, 2015, at 6 p.m. in the Commission's chambers on the second floor of the Brownsville City Hall, Old Federal Building, located at 1001 East Elizabeth Street, Brownsville, Cameron County, Texas. Regular meeting. Pledge of Allegiance, Mayor.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Brett?
Let's remain standing for the prayer. Father God, we thank you once again for this great nation we're blessed to be a part of. And Lord, we ask you to bring our leaders from the president to the city commissioners and everybody in between into unity around ideas that'll be good for our nation, our state, our county, and our city. Lord God, I ask you to lead and guide the leaders here before us tonight. Give them the wisdom they need to understand the far-reaching effects of every decision. And Lord, we also ask you to lead and guide them concerning the elections coming up. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Mayor's activity report.
Okay, I'll make it real brief. This thing on. I just wanted to take this opportunity in May to congratulate all of our graduates, whether they be from pre-K all the way up to elementary, to high school, to TSC, to UTB. And I happen to have gone to a commencement exercise over the weekend, and the message that was there I wanted to share with you, and that is all of you who are graduating, congratulations, but more importantly, as you go on in your future, don't forget that the highest calling that we can have is to serve others. So I give you that message because I know, just like the people that are sitting here, I went to a luncheon for the EMS and heard some beautiful stories, and it's about giving oneself in the service of others. So that's my report for this evening.
Commissioner's activity report.
I have three events to tell you about. The first coming up tomorrow night, the Ride of Silence, 1 day, 1 time, free worldwide. We are inviting you to join cyclists worldwide in a silent, slow-paced ride at a maximum of 12 miles per hour in the honor of those who have been injured or killed while cycling on public roadways. It's sponsored by the 7-on-7 Bike Ride Group and JT Cycling. It is free. Please join us at 6:30 at JT Cycling on Alton Glore, and wheels will go down at 7 p.m. There will be an 8-mile ride, as I said, with a speed of less than 12 miles per hour, so you don't have to be a professional cyclist to enjoy the ride. Recommended equipment are lights, helmet, water, and there's a potluck after, so if you'd like to bring a dish to share with everyone, please do. On the 25th, there is, in celebration of Veterans Day, there is the Memorial Day 17th Annual Silent March at 10 a.m., starting at HEB on Central and Boca Chica. Bring water and a hat and some sunscreen, and we will be walking to the Veterans Park up at the Public Library. And then the third event is the next Ciclovia, June the 5th, coming up on a Friday evening from 7 to 10 p.m. Our route is a combination downtown and Dean Porter Park route. You can find it on the Facebook page and as well as the Ciclovia.com web page. So please join us for all three of those. There'll be lots of fun, family-oriented, and free.
I was informed by our city manager and our traffic department the very, very long-awaited repaving of the piece of Jaime Zapata and Robindale will now be taken care of very, very shortly. And the reason that it was in such bad condition was because of the drainage that's there. Is that correct, Mr. Kabler?
Among other things, yes.
That was one of the things. The drainage that is on the side of the road and the extremely heavy trucks that drive through that area. So we will be getting to that very, very shortly. It's one of the first things that's on our short list. It'll be done very, very shortly. So we ask for your patience because that's a two-way street. We've done a lot of improvements on it. We've paved the entire other half, and we've added sidewalks all along the residential area part of it. And so we hope to continue phase 2 of this street and get it done. There was one more thing I wanted to talk about. Great. On another note, I wanted to thank everybody in District 2. I was reelected a week and a half ago, and from the bottom of my heart, I am sincerely, sincerely grateful to everybody for your support. It means so much to me, and I will continue serving you to the best of my ability, and to whatever you need, I am here for you, and I am so humbled and honored to represent you. I cannot even explain how much it means to me. So I just wanted to thank everybody who came out and voted, and we still have our runoff. There you go, our runoff. So we need you to come out and support these elections, and it's very important that your voice is heard. If I remember the second thing, I'll interrupt. So
Okay.
thank
All
you.
right. And congratulations, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Number 3, proclamations.
Dr. Enrique Trapp.
Dr. Trapp, can you and your family please join us up at the front of the room? So proclamation of the City Commission of Brownsville, Texas, May 29th, 2015, noting Dr. Enrique Trapp Day. Whereas Dr. Enrique Trapp was born in Guatemala in 1925 and graduated from National Autonomous University of Mexico School of Medicine in 1952, and whereas Dr. Enrique Trapp has provided medical care to generations of South Texans with compassion for more than 50 years, and whereas Dr. Enrique Trapp began his medical career after moving to Texas and practicing medicine at the East Texas Tuberculosis Hospital in Tyler from 1958 to 1960, and the San Antonio State Tuberculosis Hospital from 1960 to 1961, before moving to South Texas, where he was the clinical director for the South Texas Hospital in Harlingen from 1961 to 1963, and later was the superintendent or CEO from 1963 to 1969. And whereas Dr. Enrique Trapp, as a resident of Brownsville since moving to South Texas, operated a private practice in internal medicine from 1970 to 1990, as well as being a staff physician from 1990 to 1993 at the South Texas Hospital, now known as the Rio Grande State Center. And whereas Dr. Enrique Trapp retired in 1993, but returned to work at the outpatient clinic of the Rio Grande State Center after only 6 months. And whereas Dr. Enrique Trapp has a special interest in treating patients with diabetes, and whereas Dr. Enrique Trapp, at 90 years of age, walks regularly during his lunch hour and is setting an example of health, wellness, and longevity for all of us. Now, therefore, we, the members of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, by virtue of the authority vested by the charter of said city, and on behalf of all of our citizens, do hereby proclaim the 29th of May as Dr. Enrique Trapp Day, and further urge the citizens of Brownsville to share in recognizing and commending Dr. Enrique Trapp for his commitment to and caring for generations of Rio Grande Valley residents. Done on this 29th day of May 2015, signed Mayor Antonio Martinez and all of the commission.
I feel deeply honored. I'm very much at home here, and I love the area, I love the people, and I appreciate what you've done for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, Dr. Trapp. Dr. Trapp, on a personal note, I'd like to add, as a physician, I'm so proud to be associated with you, and I'm very sad that I didn't move home until 1996, so was unable to practice alongside of you. But I hope that all of our physicians aspire to follow your role. Thank you.
Proclamation, Alfonso Al Centeno.
Mr. Centeno is one of our local jewels. He's always willing to give a helping hand, and on top of that, he is a very distinguished veteran. And so today we are honoring him with an honor on behalf of the city and all of our citizens for his outstanding community work and his dedication to his country. Proclamation of the City Commission of Brownsville, Texas, recognizing and commending Alfonso Al Centeno for service to the community and to the veterans. Whereas Alfonso Al Centeno, a native of Brownsville, was born in 1941, attended Louisiana State University, earning a degree in accounting and receiving a master's degree in education from Virginia Commonwealth University. And whereas Alfonso Centeno is a family man married to Elia Cantu Centeno for 54 years and is the proud father of Alfonso Centeno Jr., Cristina Centeno Lopez, and Hilda Centeno William. Whereas Alfonso Al Centeno was in the Army from 1962 to 1966 and rose to the rank of Staff Sergeant and served honorably in the Vietnam War. And whereas Alfonso Al Centeno served the citizens of Brownsville as a police officer and border patrolman before working for the Department of Criminal Justice. And whereas Alfonso Al Centeno, a member of the Confederate Air Force Rio Grande Valley Wing, coordinated the air show between the Confederate Air Force and the city of Brownsville, and has escorted a number of very high-ranking government officials to past air shows. And whereas Alfonso Centeno is one of the founders of the Mr. Amigo Taste of La Frontera and worked on many projects, including the establishment of Veterans Park, and as a member of the Veterans of Foreign Wars, worked diligently to assist in the establishment of the new VFW building. And now, therefore, we, the members of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, by the virtue of authority vested in the Charter of said city on behalf of all of our citizens, do hereby recognize and commend Alfonso Centeno for his service to the community and to the veterans. Done on this 19th day of May, 2015, Antonio Martinez, Mayor, and the Brownsville City Commission.
Thank you, everybody. I'm proud of you. I've known you for a long time. I've been in Brownsville, and I've done a lot of things. The only thing we left out came a movie with John Wayne in 1963. It's all over the world, and I was Coordinator Secret Service, Reagan and Bush. It was all over the world. Brownsville knows about what I've been all over. Thank you very much. God bless you.
God bless you.
Proclamation, Older Americans Month.
You want me to stand up there?
Do we have
one.
anybody here for to receive this?
Yeah, back there.
Okay. A proclamation of the City Commission of Brownsville, Texas, recognizing the month of May as Older Americans Month. Whereas Brownsville includes a thriving community of older Americans who deserve recognition for their contributions and sacrifices to ensure a better life for future generations. And whereas Bella Villa Assisted Living is committed to helping all the individuals live longer, healthier lives in the communities of their choice or as long for as long as possible. And whereas since 1965, the Older Americans Act has provided services that help older adults remain healthy and independent by complementing existing medical and health care systems, helping prevent hospital readmissions, and supporting some of life's most basic functions, such as bathing and preparing meals. And whereas these programs also support family caregivers, address issues of exploitation, neglect, and abuse of older adults, and adapt services to the needs of Native American elders. And whereas we recognize the value of community engagement and service in helping older adults remaining healthy and active while giving back to others. And whereas our community can provide opportunities to enrich the lives of individuals of all ages by promoting and engaging in activity, wellness, and social inclusion, emphasizing home and community-based services that support independent living and ensuring community members of all ages benefit from the contributions and experience of older adults. Now, therefore, we, the members of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, by virtue of the authority vested by the Charter of said city and on behalf of all our citizens, do hereby proclaim the month of May as Older Americans Month, and further urge the citizens of Brownsville to take time this month to celebrate older adults and the people who serve and support them as powerful and vital individuals who greatly contribute to our community. Done on this 19th day of May 2015, signed Antonio Martinez, the Mayor, and the City Commission.
Hello. Thank you for recognizing Bella Villa Assisted Living. We're part of the San Pedro community, and we're a small facility, and we strive to provide the best care for the elderly in a home-like setting. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Proclamation Bike Month.
Proclamation of the City Commission of Brownsville, Texas, recognizing the month of May as Bike Month. It's a busy month. Whereas more than a century, the bicycle has been an important part of the lives of most Americans. And whereas today, millions of Americans engage in bicycling as an environmentally sound form of transportation, an excellent form of fitness, and provides quality family recreation. And whereas May 6th was Bike to School Day, May 15th was National Bike to Work Day, and May the 11th through the 15th was National Bike to Work Week, and National Bike Month is celebrated in the month of May. And whereas since 2012, Brownsville has hosted events such as Ciclovia, Police Department-sponsored bike rodeos, Bikes for Tykes grant program with the University of Texas School of Public Health and the Brownsville Community Health Center, Connected Communities bike workshops with Community Development Corporation of Brownsville and BC Workshop, and bike rack design competition. And local and visiting bicyclists enjoyed traveling the Belden Trail, the Montebella mountain biking trail, the Paseo de la Resaca trail system, and the historic Battlefield Trail that make up part of this city's bicycling infrastructure. And whereas these bicycling activities and attractions have great potential to have a positive impact on Brownsville's economy and tourism industry, and to stimulate economic development by making the city attractive to businesses and citizens who enjoy the out-of-doors and health lifestyles. And whereas creating bicycle-friendly communities has been shown to improve citizens' health, well-being, and quality of life, to boost community spirit, to improve traffic safety, and to reduce pollution and congestion. And whereas the Brownsville Public Health Department, along with its partners and independent cyclists throughout our city, is promoting greater public awareness of bicycle operation and safety education in an effort to reduce accidents, injuries, and fatalities. And whereas the City of Brownsville recently hosted a representative from the League of American Bicyclists to evaluate Brownsville as a bike-friendly community, and whereas the citizens of Brownsville benefit from the availability of a complete transportation system that includes facilities dedicated to the safe and convenient movement of bicycle traffic, now therefore we, the members of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, by virtue of the authority vested by the Charter of said city and on behalf of all of our citizens, do hereby proclaim the month of May as Bike Month, and further urge the citizens of Brownsville to share in the economic and health benefits of bicycling. Done on this 19th day of May, 2015, Antonio Martinez, Mayor, and the City Commission.
Congratulations. See, oh, thank you. Purple, my favorite. We'll see you at the bike sale. Thank you. Do you want us to announce the bike sale?
Mayor, Commissioners, thank you very much for this. This is a good start for becoming a bicycle-friendly community. We're working in the status nationally, so we want to be the model for the United States. We're the model for the United States, and I'm proud of being working in Brownsville. So thank you to all the participants. Thank you for your efforts and your support. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
I just want to use this opportunity to really quickly announce that the Brownsville Bike Barn will be having a small children's bike sale on the corner of East 6th Street and East Madison. The bikes will be $10 to $20. They're all used bikes, so come by on Saturday. Thanks.
Great, thank you.
Just a quick thing before we go. Want to mention the magazine that you received. It's from Vancouver, Canada, and they wrote 5 pages of Brownsville, what we have here in Brownsville. So that's why we gave this one.
Okay, well, make sure that anybody who wants one can get one, okay, Fernando?
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Proclamation, Commander Raul J. Leal, Jr. Which one?
So this proclamation is very, very important to us. Commander Leal is very, very ill right now in the hospital. So we've invited his family here. For those of us that know Commander Leal personally, we know that he is probably one of the reasons why a Veterans Park exists in Brownsville. It is to the quality that it is. We have our monuments with our soldiers' names on them, and we have put an immense amount of work into it. Commander Leal has been there from the beginning all the way to the end. He is a staple of Brownsville. He is so committed to the veterans. And I will be the first one to admit that on our silent marches, he's the first one out there. He's in front of the line, and I can't even keep up, and he's out there going. And so we owe it to him to honor him today. Although he cannot be with us, I'd like to invite the commission members to personally take it to him in his hospital room. His children are here with us today, and so we have Commander Leal in our prayers, and he's a very, very tough guy. He's hanging in there. So this is our way of our tribute to Commander Leal. Let me go ahead and read it. Proclamation of the City Commission of Brownsville, Texas, recognizing and commending Commander Raul Leal, Jr. on his dedication and service to the veterans and the community. Whereas Raul Leal, Jr., a native of Brownsville, Texas, was born in 1934, and whereas Raul Leal, Jr. served his country in the Navy during the Korean conflict, and upon his return from military, he married his sweetheart, Maria Guadalupe Valdez, in 1956. And whereas Raul Leal, Jr. and his wife of 58 years had 5 children, Maria Belinda Rodriguez, Rodolfo Raul Leal, Gloria Ann Montalvo, Eva Lorena Cuellar, and Rafael Rene Leal. And whereas Raul Leal Jr. was a visionary and entrepreneur who built Excel Block Welding on Southmost Road into a successful business more than 50 years ago. And whereas Raul Leal Jr. maintained a committed to military veterans throughout his life. As the longest serving commander of the American Legion Post number 43 for the last 22 years. And whereas under his leadership, Raul Leal Jr. was successful in relocating the American Legion Post to its current location on Billy Mitchell Boulevard. He paid off the land and the building in full. In addition to that, he initiated and realized the completion of the Brownsville's Veteran Park on Central Boulevard. And whereas Raul Leal Jr. also enjoyed a life as a professional musician, playing with the Trio Ruby and the Ruby Orchestra, and for over 35 years served as an instrumentalist and vocalist in the music ministry of Christ the King Church and St. Luke Church, and served as a mentor to numerous church choir directors. And whereas Raul Leal Jr. has dedicated his life to serving his family, his God, his church, his community, and his country, and has used his leadership skills to help others realize their full potential. Now, therefore, we, the members of the City Commission of Brownsville, Texas, by the virtue of the authority vested in the charter of said city, and on behalf of all of our citizens, do hereby recognize and honor Commander Raul Leal Jr. for his life of service and commitment to veterans and to the citizens of Brownsville. Done on this 19th day of May 2015, Antonio Martinez, Mayor, and the City Commission. Thank you.
Mayor and Commissioners, we would like to thank you all for doing this for our father. He's been critically ill ever since December 19th, and so he's a fighter, like he tells us. And one thing that I want to tell you all that my dad wrote on a piece of paper was that he said that, can you help me out? What was that he wrote? They just fade. Old soldiers never die; they just fly away, fade away.
Fade away.
They just fade away. And so please continue your prayers, and we thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts for doing this for our dad.
Well, you be
Thank
sure
you
and
so
tell them
much.
thank you and congratulations on behalf of all of us, and tell them we're praying, because old prayers never fade away either, okay?
Exactly. Thank you so much.
I wonder if he knows he's going to get a surprise visit from the City Commission.
Proclamation, Armando Sanchez.
Right up here. Stand up, boy. Thank you. Thank you, young man. Stand up, boys. Get that.
The following is a proclamation of the City Commission of Brownsville, Texas, recognizing and designating Armando Sanchez as an honorary Brownsville firefighter. Whereas Armando Sanchez, a native of Brownsville, Texas, was born on January 9th, 1995, and is a 2013 graduate of Homer Hanna High School, and is currently a sophomore at the University of Texas at Brownsville School of Criminal Justice, majoring in forensic investigation. And whereas Armando Sanchez has distinguished himself as a community servant, as an altar server for 12 years, a youth and adult advisor for Immaculate Conception Cathedral for 4 years, and has been affiliated with the Civil Air Patrol for the last 8 years, holding the rank of Cadet Lieutenant Colonel. And whereas Armando Sanchez has been a member of the Brownsville Fire Explorers Post 343 since 2010, and is currently the Explorers Chaplain. And whereas Armando Sanchez was named Brownsville Fire Explorer of the Year in 2012, and whereas Armando Sanchez has demonstrated a professional demeanor in all situations, displays a can-do attitude, has shown courage in the face of adversity, and puts others' well-being before his own. And whereas Armando Sanchez has proven himself to possess all attributes of a firefighter, dedicated to his community and to others. Now therefore, we, the members of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, by virtue of the authority vested by the Charter of said city, and on behalf of all our citizens, do hereby recognize and designate Armando Sanchez as an honorary firefighter, and further designate May 19, 2015, as Armando Sanchez Day in this city. And it's done the 19th day of May, 2015, signed Antonio Martinez, the Mayor of Brownsville, and the City Commission. Congratulations.
If you will indulge me, Mayor, a few minutes, I'd like to give him his oath of office. Señor Sánchez, por favor. Okay. Face me. He may. Raise your right hand. I state your name.
Armando Sanchez,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
I will faithfully execute
I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of honorary firefighter
of honorary firefighter
of the city of Brownsville
of the city of Brownsville
and of the state of Texas,
and of the state of Texas,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will to the best of my ability
preserve,
preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend
and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
and the laws of the United States
and the laws of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state.
I also swear
I also swear
that service to the citizens
the service to the citizens
of Brownsville
of Brownsville
will be my utmost
will be the utmost
priority
priority
before my own self-interest.
before my own self-interest.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Armando. Turn around, please.
I'm very happy that I'm being for receiving this award. It's not wanting to receive anything. It's just me wanting to help the community. And I thank you and the Brownsville Fire Department for allowing me to be able to do this. And I'm proud. I think that's all I gotta say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Armando, one last gift. Your helmet is from the city of Brownsville and the fire department. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Explorers.
One last announcement, if you would indulge me. We'll be serving cake and punch outside. If anybody from the commission would like to honor this historic day for Armando. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Recess.
You know, while they're filing out, on Friday, May 22nd, 2015, we'll be observing the National Older Americans Month at the Brownsville Event Center, 12 o'clock. Doors will not be open until then, so please, everyone's invited, right? Thank you.
Item number 4, consent agenda items. Items A through D.
Move to approve. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Motion carries.
Public hearings.
Mayor, I have a request to move item 8 up.
It shall be done.
Second.
Try number 8.
Item 8, public hearing and action on first reading on ordinance number 235-2015-902 to rezone the apartment H, AH80 to dwelling A, DA for Block 5, except Lot 22 and 23 of the Rio Viejo subdivision located near Calle Retama and Calle Anuca.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Mayor, City Commissioners. As you can see on the map projected on the screen, the area shaded in red is the rezoning from apartment to dwelling A. This was before this commission, and I went back to the Planning and Zoning Commission, and the boundaries were changed and exclude the green area. Let me see. This little green area right here. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of this rezoning.
Okay, now this is a first reading. Anybody have any comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion to close.
There's,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, I'm sorry. John? Either way, come on here, John.
Just to make note, that's not District 2, that's District 3.
okay.
It's incorrect on the agenda.
Go ahead, John.
I believe it is District 3, but my wife and I have lived at 35 Kayanakwara since March of 1987. This past March, I guess 28 years later, we learned that we're in an area that was zoned for multifamily dwellings, along with all the other single-family homes on the street. So we've met with everybody in the neighborhood, and they are all unanimously agree that we need to have it rezoned, so we would appreciate that be approved. That's all.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John. Anyone else? Not, I'll hear a motion to close public hearing.
Motion to close?
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Approved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8.
City Secretary, please note my abstention.
Item 5, public hearing and action on first reading on ordinance number 235-2015-008-S to allow professional offices G on a dwelling G for .4590 acres of Share 12, Track Q, located near West Alta Gloria and Tandy Road.
Again, we have another map projected on the screen. This area shaded in red is the specific use application. This is for professional offices. This was before the Planning and Senate Commission. All in favor of this specific use.
Anybody here on that item? If not, I'm sorry, go ahead. Oh, you're the owner? Okay. All right, thank you. If not, I'll entertain a motion to close.
Motion to close?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Action item.
Would approve. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 5 passes.
Item 6, public hearing and action on first reading on ordinance number 235-2015-009S to allow apartments and professional office in Apartment F for 1.07 acres of Espiritu Santo grant located at 624 Old Pertisbo Road.
Again, we have another map projected on the screen. This area shaded in red located in Old Port Isabel and south of East Price Road is specific use for professional office and some units, apartment units. Again, this was before the Planning and Senate Commission. All in favor of this specific use.
Okay. Public hearing, anybody here?
Motion to close?
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Action item.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries.
Item 7, public hearing and action on first reading on ordinance number 235-2015-010 to rezone from Apartment G to General Retail G for 2.0 acres out of Lot 1, Block 1 of Espanola subdivision located at Ruben M. Torres Boulevard and Coffeeport Road.
Again, another map projected on the screen. Ruben Torres. This is the HEB site. It's just behind. This is from apartment to general retail. Again, this was before the Planning and Zoning Commission. All in favor of this rezoning.
Okay. Public hearing, anybody here? Okay. Thank you for being here. I hear a motion to close.
Close.
Motion to close?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Would approve.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 9, public hearing and action on first reading on ordinance number 235-2015-903 to rezone from dwelling A to general retail G for 3.0 acres out of Share 22, Espiritu Santo grant located at 650 Ruben M. Torres Boulevard.
As you can see on the map projected on the screen, this area shaded in red. This is the expressway, Ruben Torres again, Lowe's area on this vicinity. This was also before the Planning and Zoning Commission. All in favor of this rezoning for general retail.
Public hearing.
Motion to close?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 10, public comment. Number 11, consideration and action to approve a memorandum of understanding with Allegiant Air, LLC.
Your Honor, distinguished commissioners, learned counsel, and friends of the airport, the memorandum of understanding is to enable us to provide $60,000 per year to market Allegiant Airlines service from Brownsville nonstop service to Las Vegas. The second part of the memorandum of understanding allows us to pay the ground service handling fee for Allegiant for 2 years, not to exceed $500 per flight. And this is key to starting our nonstop flights, which are scheduled to begin June 4th. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
One of the things that Allegiant told us was that if we were very successful in booking these flights, that Orlando, Brownsville to Orlando is a reality, right?
Well, I think that would be next. I met with them 2 weeks ago, and I can share with you not the exact numbers, but they're more than pleased with the sales so far. After the announcement was made in February at noon, by 5 o'clock, we'd sold more than 100 tickets. And although they won't give me the exact number, by the end of 24 hours, we had sold more tickets than any of their 121 destinations on their first day. The sales so far are so great, we're talking about either additional frequencies or larger aircraft. And that will mean other destinations, and I don't know why Orlando would not be first.
That's really exciting.
Okay.
I would gladly like to make a motion to approve.
Okay, second? Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Michael?
Item 12, consideration and action on a lease agreement with Allegiant Air, LLC to operate out of the Brownsville South Padre Island International Airport.
This is the actual agreement where they will operate out of our airport and provide the nonstop flights that we've been talking about. And it's a normal city lease and informed by the city attorney.
Okay.
Again, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Motion to approve.
Anybody second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Item number 13. Thank you, Michael.
Consideration and action on resolution number 2015-046 to authorize the renaming of a portion of Carmen Avenue to Charger Lane from US 281 to the city limits line, with said city limits line also being the north property line of Veterans Memorial High School.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. This is a portion of the old Carmen Avenue. It's a dead-end street mainly used by the school. There's already a new Carmen Avenue next to the Resaca de la Palma State Park. And this is a request by the administrators and the students to bring pride to the school campus and to avoid confusion. Your approval is recommended.
Okay. I hear a motion.
Motion to approve.
Any seconds?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Charger it is. Motion carries.
Item 14, consideration and action on resolution number 2015-048 to authorize the execution of an agreement between the City of Brownsville and the Texas Department of Transportation to contribute funds for right-of-way acquisition for Highway US 281 and FM 3248 to FM 1421.
The Texas Department of Transportation is asking for a city's contribution for right-of-way acquisition. The amount is $9,784 with 3 cents, or 1.7% of the total cost to purchase right-of-way. Your approval is recommended, so TxDOT can proceed with this project.
Have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Item number 15. Thank you.
Consideration and action to adopt the budget amendment resolution number 2015-049 to amend the general fund and general non-bonded debt service funded revenues and expenditures budget to the fund FY 2015 lease payments of a A26K compactor for the municipal landfill from the plastic bag fee.
Honorable Mayor, City Commissioners, I have the following item for your consideration. We're requesting authorization to use plastic bag fees for the lease purchase of a compactor. Little background on the screen. It's we're proposing to lease purchase a 2015 A26 compactor. The function of this machine is to stay in compliance with TCQ regulations by compacting and covering municipal solid waste. TCQ regulations are designed to prevent negative impacts to the environment. The city's landfill's site operating permit mandates a minimum of 2 compactors for daily operation as per TCQ requirements. Additional compactor provides for a spare unit to cycle compactors to use and provide timely maintenance resulting in lower annual maintenance costs. Not having a minimum of 2 compactors available for daily operations could result in fines of up to $10,000 per day. What we're requesting is authorization to use the plastic bag fees in the amount of $177,437.47 for the first annual lease purchase payment. The total equipment cost for the lease purchase, $841,750. It's a 5-year lease purchase with annual payments of $177,437.47. We do intend to request authorization to use the plastic bag fees annually for the subsequent lease purchases. Currently available is as of April 15th, is $59,873. There is no cash flow problem in funding this, as we have other projects that are not completed or allocated, and we actually average a collection of about $72,000 a month. And finally, it's allowable use per legal department's opinion.
Staff recommends?
Staff recommends approval.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 16, consideration and action to accept $1,000 from the Walmart branch located at 2205 East Ruben Torres Senior Boulevard for the Brownsville Animal Regulation and Care Center.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Commission. We're excited to announce that Walmart will be presenting a check in the amount of $1,000 to the City of Brownsville for the animal shelter. We were told that one of the managers was on their way, but they're on their way, so we would like to table the item.
Can we accept it without
Let's-
them here?
Why don't we accept it, and
Yeah.
then if he comes in, let's recognize him and thank him.
Is
How
it
about
one of
that?
those big
I know
checks?
they had a couple, they wanted to say a
Yeah,
couple of
no,
words.
and I understand, and we'll recognize him, and we'll show him our gratitude, but for right now, for procedural purposes, there's a motion on the floor.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Okay.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Motion carries, and Marina, let us know, and if for some reason they're not here this meeting, make sure that they're here the next meeting, okay?
Yes. Okay.
And,
That's
and we'll
awesome.
send, and City Secretary, make sure that we send him a nice thank you note. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Item 17, consideration and action to accept an impact fee semi-annual progress report beginning on July 1st, 2014 to December 31st, 2014.
Good evening, Mayor.
Good evening, Mike.
Commissioners. It's that time of the year again for the semi-annual impact fee progress report. Before you take action on this tonight, we have a brief presentation from Jeff Dykstra. Jeff is with Black & Veatch, the engineering consultant to PUB. I'm going to turn it over to Jeff.
Good evening. As Mike mentioned, this is a semi-annual update review of the capital improvement fee, impact fee collections and capital improvement plan of BPUB. And this is an update we do twice a year. We're looking at the last 2 periods. We missed the last 6-month period, so I'll be covering in total calendar year 2014. And this is a requirement pursuant to Texas Local Government Code, Chapter 9095. And it's, as I mentioned, we're going to be looking at the first 6 months of 2014 and the last 6 months of 2014. I'm briefly just going to go over water and wastewater growth-related projects as of the end of 2014. I'll look at service units generated through the impact fee program, impact fees assessed, and activity in the fund. And as well look at some future issues facing the impact fees. First with water. The original CIP established back in 2009 was for the water system was about $35.3 million. This slide just shows some of the changes to the cost estimates over the last 5 years, 6 years actually. The last 2 items occurred in 2014, and that's reductions, an overall reduction for project 14 and 16 of the CIP. That happened in the first 6 months of last year. And those 2 projects were the 16-inch water line loop at Old Port Isabel Road and the 24-inch water line loop at the Sunrise Mall. Slight reductions in that amount of $24,000. And then in the last 6 months of last year, There was a reduction in Project 32, about $229,000, and that's the 16-inch waterline loop, Robindale Road. Brief background on the impact fees. As you know, the updated land use assumptions plan was adopted a couple of months ago. The LUAP is adopted every 5 years, previously in 2009. Back in 2009, the maximum allowable water impact fee was established at $1,389. The adopted fee was $1,036, and that's about 75% of the allowable. For wastewater, the CIP back in 2009 was $72.2 million. Again, the next slide will show some changes in the cost estimates over that time. A big portion of the wastewater CIP was the Robindale wastewater treatment plant expansion. The initial estimate was $25.4 million. The design build was just under $30 million, and several upgrades and cost estimates have changed over time. The revised impact fee eligible amount as of last year was, that last line, $31.5 million. Again, over the years, several changes in cost estimates to the wastewater CIP. The majority of them were in that Robindale project, 48. And that cost estimate changed by $530,000 last year. Just like the water impact fees, the wastewater impact fees were established back in 2009. The maximum allowable impact fee at the time for wastewater was $2,097, and the adopted amount was $1,564, again at 75% of the allowable amount. So what impact fees have been collected this year, or actually in the 2014? This slide gives us some numbers collected year to date. In 2014, there were 198 water impact fees. And the next slide, this just shows a graph of, by calendar year, the water impact fees by meter size. And as you can see, the majority of them are 3/4 inch meters, which are mostly, smaller commercial and residential customers. For wastewater, to date, or as of the end of last year, there were 989 wastewater impact fees over the 5-year period. And in 2014, 193 were generated. And just like with water, we have a graph showing over the years how many impact fees have been generated for wastewater. As far as dollars, for the impact fees that are assessed, to date, on the water impact fees, we've assessed $1.8 million of impact fees. In 2014, that amount was roughly $306,000. For the wastewater impact fees, we've collected $2.3 million in the past 5 years since they were adopted in February of '09. And in 2014, $413,000 were assessed. This slide shows you the impact fee fund activity for the first 6 months of last year. $468,000 were collected, and expended was $146,000 approximately. That money was spent on Project 16, which was a water project, and it's a 24-inch water line loop adjacent to the Sunrise Mall. And for the first 6 months, the fund increased by just over $300,000. The last 6 months of last year, the beginning balance was just under $3 million, collected just under $600,000, and expended roughly $600,000. That money was spent largely on 3 projects. 16-inch waterline loop along Old Port Isabel Road, and that was largely due to construction costs. And Project 32, which was a Robindale waterline loop, and that included internal PB cost and construction. And the third major place where that money was spent was the AECom master plan, which PUB is going through the process of updating right now. Future issues, as you know, the LUAP has been was completed and adopted earlier this year. BPUB is currently updating the CIP, and it's expected in September to be completed. Also later this year, we expect a RFP to be issued to update the impact fee study that was done in 2009. As usual, we've presented these results and reports to the Kayak Capital Improvement Advisory Committee and presented to BPUB back in March, and the Kayak accepted these results. Have any questions?
Anybody got any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve?
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you so much. Item number 18.
Purchase bids and contracts, consideration and action to award a contract for Cueto parking lot improvements.
Mayor, members of the commission, as you are aware, we own the building at the Cueto building at 1301 East Madison. We rented to the university. We have been leasing to them since September of 2013. As you can see, part of the lease is a parking lot. It is also our property. We started the bidding process in March to get the parking lot done to blend in with the building and its look. We have preserved the leasing amount of monies we have received from the university, which is $7,715 per month of lease. We have generated over $160,000 in leasing from the university. We want to utilize that fund to award a contract to Decorative Concrete of Brownsville, Texas, the low responsive bidder, in the amount of $183,105.
So it'll be a concrete parking lot?
It will be concrete. We have gone over it with our engineers. We have gone over it with the landscape people, beautification people. It'll be landscaping, obviously concrete parking lot, and fencing for the facility. And we feel it's a very good project, and it's going to really enhance the look of that area. From 13th to 12th and Madison.
Entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 19, consideration and action to award a contract for rehabilitation of the Stegman building.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Commissioners. Staff recommends your consideration and action to award a contract for the restoration and rehabilitation of the Stegman building, which will be used for the Brownsville Performing Arts Academy. The evaluation committee met to evaluate the RFPs for the restoration and rehab of the Stegman building and selected Alpha Building Corporation as the most qualified vendor. The proposal amount is $5,337,000. Funding for this project will be coming from the Community Development Block Grant account ending in 7138 and 7140 and CO Fund account. The evaluation committee members and Office of Grant Management concur with this recommendation.
To approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 20.
20, consideration and action to award a contract for the lease, purchase, and delivery of a new compactor for the City of Brownsville Municipal Landfill.
Good evening.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, City Commissioners. Tonight we're requesting your approval to award a contract for the lease, purchase, and delivery of a new 2015 Caterpillar 826K compactor for the City of Brownsville Municipal Solid Waste Landfill to Holt Caterpillar of Westlaco, Texas, in the amount of $841,750. This unit will serve as an addition to the two compactors that have been pushed beyond the recommended replacement time, which has resulted in increased major repair costs and equipment downtime, as well as facility delays. Having a third compactor on rotation will reduce the amount of hours on the two current compactors, which will result in lowering the annual maintenance costs, and to achieve the optimum density compaction of waste received. Our landfill considers compaction as being the most important component of its operation, as well as prolonging the life of the landfill itself. Funding for this contract is in place.
Okay.
Motion to
How
approve.
are the teeth on that thing?
The teeth, it's actually, it's going to come with an additional 40 more teeth than the previous compactor, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 21.
21, consideration and action to award a term contract for the purchase and delivery of a cold mix asphalt material for the Public Works Department.
Good evening, Mayor, City Commissioners. Tonight, we're requesting a term contract for the purchase and delivery of all-season cold mix patching material for the Public Works Street Department. The term contract derived from a solicitation of bids of total of two supplier material suppliers. The contract will be awarded to multiple contractors, a primary and secondary vendor. Primary contractor, Vulcan Materials of San Antonio, Texas, the low responsive bidder, with a Texas Smart Buy interlocal agreement in the amount of $139.10 per ton to be delivered in Brownsville. Secondary vendor is Waller County Asphalt of Hampstead, Texas, second lowest responsive bidder with a Texas Smart Buy interlocal agreement in the amount of $168 per ton to be delivered in Brownsville. The material's primary function will be for pothole patching of asphalt pavement in any type of weather conditions. The material can be stockpiled at a location for several months at a time, and will be making it convenient and accessible to our patching crews. This procurement reflects the Texas Smart Buy contracting price. Funding for this contract is in place.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Santana.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 22, consideration and action to award a contract for reflective sheeting materials for the Traffic Department.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I'm here tonight to term contract for the 3M roll goods. The lowest bidder was the 3M, by the way, and recommend approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
Thank you. Would adjourn? Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.